Well, hello. Sorry about that. Just grabbing my laptop really quick so that when I play some videos that I can still find the chat. Let me make sure that you guys are hearing me. Sounds like... looks like my mic's low. Could be because of the music. We're pausing the music. I'm actually going to turn my mic up a little bit, I think. Because I noticed on the last video it seemed really quiet. And I'm hearing something, I think. I don't know what it is. So, welcome. Welcome. Let's talk about NASA a little bit. So $2.7 billion, it's a chunk of change. And I'm just kind of making fun of their efforts because it's all for nothing. All that money and all the effort and all the excitement that these people, it's all for nothing. For absolutely nothing. And it's actually against them. It's against them. So how do I turn my mic up? I turned it up 1 decibel, possibly. Can you guys let me know in the chat if my voice sounds loud enough? Because I don't want to have to yell in the mic. Okay, so let's look at this. First, what I'm gonna do. Because you'll see what I have in the background here if I do this. If I turn that rover off and that rover off. And what else? We'll get rid of the money for now. Then let's get rid of NASA. Then let's get rid of the globe. Why do I have that there? Why would I have that there? Don't worry. Thank you guys in the chat. Hello. Okay, so this is going to be kind of fun. I have a short video to watch of NASA. Actually, to listen to. I'm sorry. So, I'm sure that I have that audio set up. Okay. There is a reason. So, don't think there's not. We'll talk about it after this video. So let me find this video. Oh, I know what's going on. There's some slight audio on the file I'm playing. I just muted it. So there was some sound. I don't know if it was someone's voice or what it was, but sorry about that. Oh, it didn't plan that. I can hear it now because I unmuted it. Okay, here we go. This is a short video. So I'll be right back. I'm sorry. So sorry. We're almost done. You guys want to listen to it again? I don't know if you heard me say that. So, I hope you guys enjoy the graphics that I kind of make for this. It's fun stuff. But I do want to talk about what $2.7 billion to build and for the whole mission to send Perseverance to Mars. I just want to say this. Remember in the Bible, like even in Acts, they were worshiping the stars and the host of heaven. And I just see that happening today. We just spent $2.7 billion to get that audio and to get some other garbage that a place, they say a place. I don't even think it's a place. I think it's just strong deception. Nobody's going to Mars. Nobody should want to go to Mars. There's nothing on Mars if it is a place. Well, apparently there's a Perseverance rover there right now. And we just got to hear the screeching audio. Did you guys see that at the end? NASA, they made a statement that that scratching sound was being investigated. So, there you go. So where does pestilence come from? Don't worry though. Don't worry. That's not what this video is about. I'm just thinking about it. Thinking if something was gonna come out of our world into our world, like something evil, like a disease or like something that you never know. You never know. Like asteroids or meteors, I guess. Meteorites. What's up with those things? You know, they're coming from a different world. It's just kind of weird for me to think about it. They're coming from a different world. And like I've been really realizing more and more just thinking about it. I understand, see the people that aren't flat earthers and that are kind of against that whole idea. They don't understand that there's something being shown to people right now. And it's not from this world. So you can't trump it. You can't, there's a reason for it. There's a reason that Enoch wrote about the four winds and the whole treasuries of all the winds. That there's a reason why he wrote about that. There's a reason why John in Revelation said that he saw a dragon casting the third of the stars to the ground with his tail. I wonder what that looked like. What would that look like? Stars falling to the ground, a third of the stars. You know, what would that look like? How many fallen angels are there? Were there 200? I think there were 200, but I might be wrong. Because when I'm thinking about that, I think of, maybe I can somehow bring you to this page. I'm just thinking here, okay? I think it's so important to realize that heaven is like a real spiritual place, and the things here don't work there, but they do work there. Like a good example is for me to say, look at the sun and the moon. And actually, right now, I am making a video for like a few hours now. I've been taking video with my equatorial mount of the moon, tracking the moon from pretty early on in the day, and I'm still tracking it right now. But it just looked really cool today during the day. So anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to think about that I've been thinking about, and I think other people have been thinking about. So let me get to my desk, or let me get a page going so I can show you guys something. And I don't even remember what I was going to show you now. Sorry. So I do have like a bunch of videos, and they're funny ones, or they're kind of funny ones, I guess. So I'm gonna play a ton of videos after this, but they're good ones. Yeah, they're good ones. You'll like them. I'm looking through them right now. So it's probably just in my crazy mind. Let's check this out.
You have to move back. You have to remember your spacing. Move back. It's too close. If you can touch the person in front of you, that means you're way too close.
So we're gonna look at a couple things that I was just thinking about, but I have to get a page open. Sorry, I'm trying to get my laptop onto the stream so that I can chat, because I can't do it with this other computer while I'm streaming. It just won't allow it. So what I have to do is get a page open that I can share with you guys, and I want to show you guys something very interesting to me. Let's see. It's a book that, it could be considered controversial, I'm sure. And I'm sure a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's not scripture." Great. I'm not saying it's scripture, but it's the one that I mentioned. I mention it once in a while. it's the vision of Saint Paul. And I just want to talk about the firmament and what I understand about what's there. And because that's why I had the little virus thingy on the back of on the background. Let's see here. I'm gonna find the book that I read it from. I could probably go to my channel, or actually, I probably hold on a minute. I don't know what I'm thinking. I can do it in my program here. Sorry. So it's a book, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know how it's like it's kind of strange how it starts out. But a guy was living in a house that Saint Paul or whatever that Paul the Apostle used to live in. And one night an angel came to him and told him to dig up the foundation, or dig under the foundation of the house, and that there would be a box there, and to publish what you found. That's what it said. And the guy thought it was just a dream, so he didn't do anything. And I guess it happened 2 times, and he didn't do anything. So the 3rd time, the angel beat him, do it. And so he dug it up, and then he gave it to whatever. He didn't want to open it, or someone didn't want to open it, and then he gave it to the authorities and whoever it was. I don't remember, but they opened it, and it was Paul writing about when he went to the 3rd heaven or whatever. So I'm not saying it's scripture, but it sure has, a lot of these books that a lot of people would say, oh, those are bad or something, like they're not authentic. I don't believe that to be true, and it's not because I have studied their history and the manuscripts or the scrolls. No, I don't care about that. Because the Word of God, it isn't a 66 book canon. It's the Holy Spirit that has inspired men to write things that the Holy Spirit uses in the end of days. That's, to me, the Word is alive. I guess that's the best way to put it. The Word is alive. I've learned so much from books and things, and I know it's things that are true. So let's look at the firmament here. Let me show you. Oh wait, I have to get the video in here. I'm sorry. I am not a multitasking person at all. So I have a folder called Bible, and I'm guessing that the vision of St. Paul is, yes, it's right here. We're going to skip around in here. I wish I would have remembered where it was. This is me reading the book, but let's listen to it a little bit. I just want to give some context, and Paul went up above the firmament, and the angel told him to look back at the firmament. And that's the part I want to find. So we'll find it, but maybe I'll let it play in the beginning so you can get the context of the book too. It was what I described, but it's a little more in detail, so let's try it out. The Vision of St. Paul, read from sacredtext.com. Here begins the vision of St. Paul the Apostle. But I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I know a man in Christ 14 years ago, whether in the body, I know not, or out of the body, I know not. God knoweth. Snatched up in this manner to the 3rd heaven. And I know such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I know not. God knoweth. How that he was snatched up into paradise, and heard secret words, which it is not lawful for men to speak. On behalf of such a one will I glory. but on mine own behalf I will not glory, save my infirmities. At what time was this revelation made? In the consulship of Theodosius Augustus the younger and Cynegius, a certain nobleman then living in Tarsus, in the house which was that of St. Paul, an angel appearing in the night revealed to him, saying that he should open the foundations of the house, and should publish what he found. But he thought that these things were dreams. But the angel, coming for the third time, beat him and forced him to open the foundation. And digging, he found a marble box. Inscribed on the sides there was the revelation of St. Paul, and his shoes in which he walked, teaching the word of God. But he feared to open that box, and brought it to the judge. When he had received it, the judge, because it was sealed with lead, sent it to the Emperor Theodosius, fearing lest it might be something else, which when he had received, the emperor opened it, and found the revelation of St. Paul. A copy of it he sent to Jerusalem, and retained the original himself. While I was in the body in which I was snatched up to the third heaven, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Speak to the people. Until when will ye transgress and heap sin upon sin, and tempt the Lord who made you? Ye are the sons of God, doing the works of the devil in the faith of Christ, on account of the impediments of the world. Remember therefore, and know that while every creature serves God, the human race alone sins. But it reigns over every creature, and sins more than all nature. For indeed the Son, the great light, often addressed the Lord, saying, Lord God Almighty, I look out upon the impieties and injustices of men. Permit me, and I shall do unto them what are my powers, that they may know that thou art God alone. And there came... Okay, sorry guys. I was having a little technical difficulty there for a minute. I don't know what the problem is, but... So, did you hear at the beginning? I was trying to stop it like almost a minute ago, or pause it. So it's going to be probably hard for us to go through it. So maybe, if I remember right, it might be around 9 minutes. So I'm going to look there. I just want you guys to hear what Paul, or this book, we'll just say, says about what Paul saw when he looked back at the firmament. And this is why things can be verified. I'm just giving you my personal understanding of how it works, or how I'm learning some of these things, and how I know that some of these books, I don't know anything about the books, but I know what they say in them. And how could Paul and or if these were impersonators, and it wasn't written by the people claiming to write it or whatever, how can they all know all these things when they're taken up into heaven? They know all these specific things about heaven, and they tell about them, and they've lived thousands of years apart from each other. But like that, and there are things that the world doesn't even realize, like nobody realizes. And this is what I want to talk about the firmament for, and this is why I have SpaceX up on the screen. I was going to go here just to show you. Look in the middle, it says 70 landings. Okay? 70 landings. Let me show you what we're watching land. This is the Falcon 9 rocket. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Okay, there is 2 stages. Why am I talking about rockets? Because they're bad. They're real bad. So it can lift 25 tons into low Earth orbit. 25 tons. So let's see here. Here's the first stage. This is the part that lands. It lands back on Earth and it uses fire to slow it down. That's in the Bible, guys. That's what I believe. He doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Okay, so there's two stages, and the inner stage and the payload. And dragon is, well, we'll look at dragon. Let's just go look at it. Well, let's look at some images of this really quick. This has 9 Merlin engines on it. See, look it up there. Doesn't that even look like a serpent? Okay, let's go. There's some pictures here we'll look at real quick. Whoops. It doesn't, there we go. There's one landing. There's some thrust. Big deal, I know. But the whole... There's one landing. The whole reason why it's a big deal to me is because whether I'm a watchman or whatever, I've been shown to, and I think that a lot of people have too, shown to people that the place that they're calling space is not space. It's the celestial realm. The heavenly realm. Now I see the flat earthers say space is fake, and that's probably not a really good way to say it, because that leaves people hanging. Like, space is fake? What do you mean? You can look up at night and see it. That's just a word we use for the night sky, the dark part of the night sky, the dark part, the darkness. That's space. And really what it is it's a firmament that turns. So it's another realm. There's a firmament is the other realm. The firmament God called the firmament heaven. So once we go out of the air, according to Enoch said something very important. Let's go look at it really quick. Very important, I think. And it's just small details, but they can mean so much. Let's look at this. Enoch chapter 18. The very first verse in Enoch chapter 18, if we look closely at that verse, it says a lot. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. Okay, so that's telling us that the winds, whatever that means, I think it probably means the air or the wind in the air, you know. I'm not trying to be very specific. We can think about it generally and understand something. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. So if we're on the earth, the four winds are holding everything together, or whatever you want to call it. He furnished with them the whole creation. So, and then it says, I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds. Look at this. Which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. So they are the foundations of the earth, and they're the pillars of the heaven. Actually, it says that right in a minute here. Verse 3, and I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. I saw the winds of heaven. Look at this, guys. Which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. This is why I know Earth is not moving. And all the evidence points to that, every bit of it. And that's what I made a video today, that where I just kind of broke it down a little bit. Anything in the sky, if it's in orbit, if it's not falling back down, it has to be moving super fast. And it can be moving all different kinds of speeds and directions. It just depends on where it is. It's like the ISS is just on a pattern that, and actually I'm working on a video that's talking a little bit more specifically about the trajectory of the ISS and its orbit and what they understand to be the rotation of the Earth during that orbit. But it's interesting because there's a whole different way to look at it that makes way more sense. And it's simpler. If you go into the celestial realm, what human beings have learned, and NASA will tell you this, is that everything there, first of all, it's moving at a very super fast, I'll just say, it's moving super fast. Fast enough that it covers the Earth many times. Or let's just say it could cover the Earth in one day, or it could cover the Earth in a month, or it could like the moon. I'm just saying they think the moon orbits the Earth when it goes over the Earth, and it's over the Earth the whole time. We can't always see it, but yeah. Okay, let's just think about that. So the air or the winds are very important. He said, I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. So keeping that in mind, the firmament. Let's try to jump around. Hopefully this video isn't going to give me too much trouble. We'll get rid of this for... Whoops, wrong button. We'll get rid of this for just a minute, and I want to play... We'll try right about... I think I wrote these down too, what times it was, but let's check this out. The world made them wretched, devising many occasions every hour, not even making one of the just and of sinners, filled moreover with were similarly of the covenant, and let him lead into paradise of joy, around. That he himself made out his body at the judgment. When therefore it had entered into heaven, all the angels sighed piously with thee in the hour of God of this soul, from his youth till to gold, full above of golden letters. And I said, Lord, what is this place? And he said to me, this is the land of promise. It's the promised land, full above of golden letters. I'm trying to find where he's For by myself I swear, and by my holy angels, and by my virtue, that if he had repented 5 years before he died... Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the desktop up there again, and we'll see if we can't just find the book, and because I think I could find it faster than skipping through and making you guys listen to that. So let's do this. Okay, you guys can see my screen, I think. Let's do... I can't remember where I read it from. Oh, the Apocalypse of Paul is probably what I should have written. I thought it would make... Here we go. PDF. Let's just see if we can... Sacred text. That's what I want. Okay, good. All right. Sacredtext.com. Whoops. Intro. Next, the vision of Paul. So I don't remember where it was. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I already found it. Or I found the area that it is. So an angel grabbed him and was showing him, or he was asking the angel what happened to the righteous spirits and what happened to the uh, sinners' spirits or whatever when they died. And so he was showing them. And okay, here, I think it's verse 15 right here. I'll highlight it. Oops. I'm just going to read for a bit here. And he saith to me, look again down on the earth, and watch the soul of an impious man going out of the body. Okay, that's not it. But it's right here somewhere. Yeah, paradise is up there. Right up in the sky, guys. And to be honest, I had a dream that was, to me, it was more than a dream. And I went up on this road that went up into the sky, and there was a big mountain, and I went there and walked in a pool with Jesus there. This was in a dream. I was sleeping in my bed. So I'm just sharing with you. I went up there in my dream. And it was very detailed. The whole dream was. I was doing drywall. Because there's a city up there on that mountain. I was doing drywall in my dream, guys. But it wasn't on Earth. It was up in the sky. And there was a lot of people doing drywall with me. There was. Okay, I went way too far. Oh, I think I found it. Maybe. No. It might be before this a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Okay, I just saw the word firmament. That's cool. Well, let's see here. World made them wretched. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to just be silent air here. I'm still trying to find this. And I didn't necessarily think of this, but I want to just show you a few of these books, what they say. It's amazing. I'll just try reading in verse 11 here. And the angel answered and said unto me, follow me, and I will show you the place of the just, where they are led when they are deceased. And after these things, taking thee into the abyss. This is the one I want. Okay. I will show thee the souls of sinners, and what sort of place they are led into when they have deceased. And I proceeded back after the angel, and he led me into heaven. That's up in the sky. And I looked back up. Okay, this is it right here, guys. This is important. This is very important because of what the people in this world, like NASA and all the people that are thinking that way, they have, they're not thinking. There's a new way to see things. There's a new way to understand the world we live in. And when you open your mind to that, for a long time it's been like a ridiculed thing. And I think it will be until everybody knows, because all truth will be made manifest. All truth. The lies go goodbye. And so, and the liars, it's nothing that's ever happened in this world before. I'll tell you that much. So I don't know everything what to expect, but look at the world right now. Okay, so here we go. And I proceeded back after the angel. I'm right here. And he led me into heaven. Do you guys notice that it says, I will show you the place of the just where they are deceased, after these things taking thee into the abyss. Keep that in mind. Okay, and I proceeded after the angel, and and he led me into heaven, and I looked back upon the firmament, and I saw in the same place, so he saw in the firmament, power, and there was there oblivion, which deceives and draws down to itself the hearts of men. Do I have to remind you guys of this? Just think. I'll read that last verse again. And he led me into heaven, and I looked back upon the firmament, and I saw in the same place power, and there was there oblivion, which deceives and draws down to itself the hearts of men, the spirit of detraction, and the spirit of fornication, and the spirit of madness, and the spirit of insolence, and there were there the princes of vices. These I saw under the firmament of heaven. Back to the desktop. I'm right here now. These I saw under the firmament of heaven. And again I looked back, and I saw angels without mercy, having no pity, whose countenance was full of madness, and their teeth sticking out beyond the mouth. Their eyes shone like the morning star of the east. And from the hairs of their heads sparks of fire went out, and from their mouth. And I asked the angel, saying, Sir, who are those? And the angel answered and said unto me, These are those who are destined to the souls of the impious in the hour of need, who did not believe that they had the Lord for their helper, nor hoped in him. Wow. I looked on high, and I saw other angels, whose countenance shone as the sun. There, okay? So that was all I wanted to show you right there. And now we're going to go to another book. The Ascension of Isaiah. I want to show you what Isaiah saw in the firmament. At the very bottom, or under it, I guess. I don't really know the specifics, but Paul there said he saw those things under the firmament. So this is Isaiah, son of Amos, same Isaiah that wrote the book of Isaiah in the Bible. Same guy. And he has a vision, and he wrote about it, or told people about it, or whatever. Same thing happened to him. He had some angel bring him up there and show him some stuff. I think it starts right here, yeah. The vision which Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw, which I have this on my channel also. If you guys are interested in reading it, I've read it, and I've read also the whole book. So there's a couple of Ascension of Isaiah. There's the Vision of Isaiah and the Ascension of Isaiah. The Vision of Isaiah is just the last 6 chapters, I think. But so he has this vision, and let's see. Okay, so he sees an angel that he can't describe the glory of. And having seized me by my hand, he raised me on high, and I said unto him, Who art thou, and what is thy name, and whither thou art raising me on high? For strength was given me to speak with him. And he said unto me, When I have raised thee on high through the various degrees, and made thee see the vision, on account of which I have been sent, then thou wilt understand who I am, but my name thou dost not know. Okay, let's see. because thou wilt return into this thy body, but whither I am raising thee on high, thou wilt see, for this purpose have I been sent. Okay, so this angels bring him up, and he gets to the firmament right here, verse 9. And we ascended to the firmament, I and he, and there, so he's talking about the firmament, and there I saw Samuel and his hosts. Now, I don't know who Samael is. I'm thinking it's one of the fallen angels. Maybe. I think it probably is. You know what? Let's do this. Just for fun, let's do a search and see if we come up with something. Hebrew word, I don't know. Divine punishment. Oh, Samael is the archangel of death? I don't know. That could be a video game. I don't know. So, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but archangel in Judaism, the angel who tests men. I don't know. I'm just looking. Doesn't mean any of that's true, but I saw Samuel and his hosts, and there was great fighting therein, and the angels of Satan were envying one another. So do you guys see where I'm going with this? What is this saying? I mean, Isaiah and Paul, they're both talking about the firmament being a place of deception, being a place where Samuel and his hosts are, and the angels of Satan were fighting with each other, or envying one another. And there's great fighting within. And NASA goes there. And now SpaceX Dragon is going there. Dragon. You know, in the Bible, Jesus gave us his testimony from heaven in the book of Revelation. And he told us about a dragon. Well, John told us about a dragon. But John bears record of the Word of God. So that's very important. Whether you understand why or not. There's a place up in the sky that I was just talking about, that I had a dream that I was doing drywall there. And there was a pool. It was really cool. I can't really remember everything from it, but there was definite things that happened in the dream that were almost as if it wasn't a dream and they really happened to me. So there's that. But I just think, there's another place when they descend down through the firmament too. Okay, so he goes through the heavens, and then he sees Jesus. And here's another interesting thing that we can learn from a book like this. You know how there's a lot of people always talking about Yeshua, all these different names, which is fine. I think that's fine. We're all talking about the only begotten Son of God, I think, or Son of Yahuwah, or however you want to say it, Yahweh or whatever. I think we all understand that there's a lot of different names that people call him, and in Revelation 19, it says that nobody knows his name but he himself, and his name is called the Word of God. So whatever language you want to translate that to and say it that, however, it doesn't really matter. Here's something that we can understand about that topic. Because a lot of people kind of treat his name made of letters on the earth here to be something very important, and although his name's important, it's the name above all names, but that we have a lot of different languages in this world, and we speak a lot of different languages, but there's only one Son of God. Jesus is what I call him. I have friends that are in the chat that call him other names, but we all know who we're talking about. But when he was up in heaven, he was just about to get into the seventh heaven or whatever, where the throne and him who sits on the throne and all of that is. And there was a voice that wouldn't allow him to come up because he was in his body or something like that. Let's see here. Okay, I'll just read this. Chapter 9, I'll just read a little bit of it. And he took me into the air of the seventh heaven, and moreover I heard a voice saying, How far will he descend that dwelleth in the flesh? And I feared and trembled. And when I trembled, behold, I heard from hence another voice being sent forth and saying, It is permitted to the holy Isaiah to ascend hither, for here is his garment. And I asked the angel who was with me, and said, Who is he who forbade me, and who is he who permitted me to ascend? And he said unto me, He who forbade thee is he who is over the praise giving of the sixth heaven. And he who permitted thee, this is thy Lord God, the Lord Christ, who will be called Jesus in the world. But his name, listen to this, guys, but his name thou canst not hear till thou hast ascended out of thy body. So he told him he's going to be called Lord Christ, Jesus in the world, which would be also Yeshua or Yahusha or whatever. That would just be a different language. But the name, that what it is today, or some would say Isis, or some would say even Joshua. But we all know who we're talking about. That's what's important. But in Revelation it says no one knows his name, and this is why. Because you can't know his name while you're dwelling in the flesh. You need to have a heavenly garment to do that. Remember all the people in Revelation that John saw that were dressed in white robes? That's that garment. It's a different body, I think. It's a whole different, because it's a different type of place. It's not part of this. Oh, he even saw Enoch there. That's cool. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there was. Oh yeah. Okay. So if you read this, or if you listen to it on my channel or whatever, this book, he sees the return of Jesus Christ. That hasn't happened yet. I mean, that one. He sees that, and he sees what Jesus does, and I don't really know why all of it, and I'm sure Isaiah doesn't know why all of it went that way, but Isaiah got to watch him go through all the heavens, and he went through all the heavens, descending through the heavens, and he had to like match the angels that were on those heavens, and he went unnoticed. He went unnoticed all the way down, and I don't want, like, I guess what I'm saying is Isaiah got to see. It gives me insight into Isaiah. See, this is why it gives me insight. The book of Isaiah in the Bible. What chapter is that? It's 14. Or no, let's go to chapter 5, I think. He says things that make sense if you understand some of the other things that he said. Let's see here. Look what this says in Isaiah 5:14. Okay. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, he that rejoiceth shall descend down it, or descend into it. But watch this. Let's see. Let's go up to chapter 14. And look what it says about hell here. Right here in verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Now let's go back to the Ascension of Isaiah and look if that's true. So he's going down. Okay, to ascend above the firmament, which is the first heaven. I can't remember. Oh, I think it's more like chapter 11. Sorry, guys. Okay, see it. I saw he descended into the first heaven. We'll just read this, and then I think it's chapter 11 when he gets to. Well, maybe not. Oh yeah, here we go. Verse 29 down here. And again he descended into the firmament, where dwelleth the ruler of this world. Who's the ruler of this world, guys? Satan, right? And he gave the password to those on the left, and his form was like theirs, and they did not praise him there. But they were envying one another and fighting. For here there is a power of evil and envying about trifles. And I saw when he descended and made himself like unto the angels of the air, and he was like one of them. And he gave no password, for one was plundering and doing violence to another. So, let me grab a video to show you. From NASA. Now, there's going to be a lot of people when they see this that they're just going to say, oh, that's NASA faking something. I just have to give a warning about just assuming that men can lie to the world and deceive the world, because that's not what's happening. There's no men involved. No men involved. There's men that are deceived, but they believe it. They're not lying. NASA's not lying to you. That's not why your eyes have been opened if your eyes have been opened. Give me a moment. I don't remember where this video is, but it's somewhere here. Oops, I think it's actually, I found it already. All right. Okay, so let's just watch this part of this anyway. Oops. I hope it works. Uh-oh. I think my program's busted. Yeah, it's busted. Okay, watch. This is NASA footage. This is a NASA video. STS-75. That's a Space Shuttle 75th mission or whatever. Flight Day 9 video file. This is 17 minutes and 29 seconds long. So I'm going to skip through some of it. It's a video log that the astronauts do. So they had a satellite. Whoops. That's what I'm going to be showing you.
It's not very good. It was very low and the window's pretty dirty.
Okay.
And it was hard to get access, but I might as well.
They're filming something through the window of the shuttle.
Thank you, Jeff.
They're communicating with NASA, and they're trying to get them a shot of this
contact is beautiful.
something that
Get it on the TVs and downlink to you. We can see the tether.
the tether that broke off of the shuttle.
The viewfinder.
So they're filming it.
Unfortunately, it was at a very low angle through the window, and so there's a lot of distortion in the image.
Copy.
We have acquisition out the front window. I'm going to go and take some more pictures of that.
Roger.
Okay, so we'll do a little fast forwarding here. Basically, they're trying to get a good shot of it, and they finally get a good shot, and
Like things.
some people will say that this is something just out of focus, and I can understand that, but if you watch it closely, you'll see some strange things. So this is about the time right here. We'll just listen to them for a minute.
the image?
Franklin, we see a long line, a couple of star-like things, and a lot of things swimming in the foreground. Can you describe what you're seeing?
Well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us, and it's illuminated by the sun at such low angle. So there's a lot of stray light, and it's getting washed out quickly, but Claude is trying to do a quick, good job here adjusting the cameras.
Copy that.
NASA footage, guys. I'm going to encourage everyone to not discount this as something that NASA's faking, because it's not. So there.
Houston, Columbia, I was using...
There's that. You can think whatever you want about it, but I just think it's important, guys. The prophets told us of a place. So let me give you the desktop again, and let's do this. Let's look at Jude 13 at Bible Hub. Let's just look at this. Let's look at what the Greek words say. Whoops. Waves wild of the sea foaming out of their shame. Stars wandering, to whom the gloom of darkness to age has been reserved. Planets. Which actually... which word, or which, oh, let's go to Enoch again. So that place up there, we're already in the right chapter in Enoch. Okay, look at this. We read about the treasuries of the winds, if you guys remember that already. We read down to, right here. So he saw the winds and the treasuries of the winds, and we learned the importance of them. They hold up the heavens, they hold up the earth. What does it say? He furnished with them the whole creation with the four winds. So then it says, and I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south, and for those towards the east 1 was of colored stone, and 1 of pearl, 1 of jacinth, and those toward the south of red stone. Red stone, guys. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire. And beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. Okay? The end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed. So, do you guys hear that? Because this is what it's going to open your mind to something in this next verse. Okay, it says, beyond these mountains, wherever they were, but they were, what did it say? He just said, I proceeded and saw a place. So we don't really know where it is. But there was these mountains, and then there was one in the middle that reached to heaven like the throne of God. And then it says, beyond these mountains, so like beyond these mountains is a region of, or the end of the great earth. So he's seeing the end of the great earth. And then it says, there the heavens were completed. So that it's like the end of heaven meets the end of earth. And I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. Okay, so he saw the abyss, and then it says, and beyond that abyss. So he went beyond the mountains, he saw an abyss, and then beyond that abyss he says, I saw a place which had no firmament of heaven, of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. Where do you guys think he was? Let me show you where I think he was. Let's see, video. I gotta grab a file. I didn't even plan on doing this for the live stream. I planned on playing videos mostly. Ones that are like kind of fun or funny. I like funny. Okay, so this is going, let's see. I can't remember where I have this. Oh, I remember where it is now. Memory is a strange thing, isn't it? How do we have a memory that can remember and categorize things and just pull them out of nowhere? It's pretty crazy. So he said I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. Think about it. Why would he say, and no firmly founded earth? Like, because he's used to a firmly founded earth, but he's seeing something different, I guess. He said, not a firmly founded earth. This is where I think he was. Everything's moving. Okay, and look what it says. Oh wait, we'll go back to desktop. I want you guys to read along if you can. Okay. There was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. So I think he's talking about space, the darkness of space. But wait, he'll just tell you straight up that he is. Because look what else he saw there. I saw there 7 stars. Stars. Like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, this place is the end of heaven and earth. Okay. Keep in mind what vision of St. Paul said and the apocalypse of Isaiah, and what Isaiah said about hell being moved from beneath to meet him at his coming. So just think about that. He's seeing a place that was a waste and horrible place, no firmly founded earth beneath it. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, this place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated. So that's why Jude, whoops, yeah, oh, I hit the wrong button. That's why Jude mentioned it. Right here, verse 13, raging waves of the sea. Whoops, I always do that. Foaming out their own shame, wandering stars to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. All the astronauts talk about the darkness of space. Some of them call it death. They call it the bottomless pit. That's what Chris Hadfield said. He said it's the funny thing about space is it's a bottomless pit of deep black. Darkness, what did he say? Like you could reach out and touch it or something like that. Or you could feel it or something like that. I don't know. That's what this is, the blackness of darkness. And then look back here. There's not just planets there. There's all the evil spirits are there. Look what it says in verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. So NASA is doing specifically what Lucifer has in his heart to do. We got to go to Bible Hub to look at this one. This is important. Okay, so like let's say you worked at, if you had a, like, I don't really like putting people on the spot, but if you worked at NASA, Jesus Freak Computer Geek worked at NASA for many years. So I could, you know, if he was still working there, I could ask him this, or I could mention this to him, and I think, knowing him, he would say, "Oh boy, I have a hard time with that. I think he would have to quit his job," is what I'm saying. But if he was doing this, let's go to. Sorry guys, that's really weird. They changed Bible Hub a few days ago, and I'm still not used to it. Look at this format now. So I think I just want to show you the. I'm just going to go to the KJV here for now. Airborne Saint, hello. I think I saw a music video that you had on your channel recently, and I think I'm having a mind blank, but it was pretty good. I don't know if it, maybe drop a link for that. Was it I don't know if it was a band or what it was. I can't remember. But when I saw your name there, I was thinking about that. So Isaiah 14, chapter 12. So if you worked at NASA, and I told you that NASA's mission statement, you know, like the goal of that the agency and every other space agency or company like SpaceX or anybody with rockets and things like that. Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And think about this, guys. Hell isn't a place for your body. Oh, that was Newsboys? Cool. That's probably why I liked it. Hell isn't a place for your body. Because our bodies, we put them in graves. And they stay there till the resurrection or whatever. And I don't understand all that, but I don't know if I want to. What I'm saying is, Summer Sutton, can you elaborate? Not sure exactly what you mean. Do you believe me? M.E. Not sure what you mean. So hell is the darkness up above. So I'm hesitating to talk about the next, where that brings me. It brings me to Enoch 67. I'm not going to say that I understand this whole thing, but I'm just sharing the things that are crazy to me when I'm finding them. Okay, so darkness that we call space, NASA thinks it's a vacuum. The Bible says it's dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. It's always referring to it as a great sea, or it's always waters. There's waters above. So whatever those waters are, I don't know if they're, I don't think it's like water that's on the earth, but I don't really know. But this chapter, this is actually it's a fragment of the book of Noah, I think, or maybe not. I think it was maybe Enoch rewrote it. I don't know, but this was written to Noah, or this was said to Noah. And it's talking about those angels, and it's talking about waters, and it's talking about, even, we'll have a video to watch about this, but it says, look right here, from that fiery molten metal and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur. And I'm going to just break this down. I'm not prepared to go over it yet, because I'm still learning some things. But if we understand what fire is, we can take a match, and let's just all pretend like we have a match. Nobody light a match now, but pretend you have a match and you light it. And the flame, what does the flame do? The flame, like if you put your hand near the side of the match, you won't get really burned, will you? But what happens if you put it above the match? You get burned. Like above a candle, that you don't want to put your hand above a candle. But you can put it on the sides of the candle, and you might feel the warmth, but it's not going to burn you like it would if you just put your hand over it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's because the heat from the candle goes up in an upward direction towards the sky. That's just how it works. When you have a campfire and the sparks are flying, they're flying up into the air because that heat wants to go up there, okay? It wants to rise. And if we were to remove the part of physics that we understand as gravity, or that downward acceleration, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not here to argue that. What I'm saying is that the thing that, when you pick up a pen and you let go of it and it drops to the floor, that force, or whatever you want to call it, that phenomenon, that is, if you remove that, what does the match do then? Just think about that once. So you light a fire, and there's no in our reality on the earth, we have the four winds, and they furnish the whole creation. They make it, everything work. Everything works here. That's why we have weather, and that's why we have all that. And we've learned a lot about that. Science has shown us a lot about that, like how we get rain, and we get snow, and all the things that happen with the air, through the air, windstorms, tornadoes, all these kinds of things are because of the winds organizing. I'm just giving you my description of it, organizing the things of the creation into a consistent thing that we experience, the reality that we experience, and we would call it physics today. Like the winds are in charge of all the physics, making everything consistently work. You know what I'm saying? So that's why gravity would be a constant, or there are things that are like, they even call them laws, like laws of nature, right? Things like that. That Enoch's telling us that that's all happening because of the air, or the wind, the four winds. But so above those four winds, though, there's waters, dark waters, and thick clouds of the skies, that darkness, okay? And that darkness is waters, and there's angels imprisoned in those waters, okay? verse 4 right here, he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley, which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley, which there was a great convulsion and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal, and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. And the valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land, and through its valleys proceeded streams of fire, where these angels were punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth for the healing of the body. What does the space station primarily do science about? The human body. And also every kind of science that's trying to improve things for humanity. Let me think of an example. There's tons of examples of things that they would want to be able to do in a zero gravity or a free fall environment, where if you think about a match lighting in an environment that doesn't have an up and down, the gases or the exhaust gases or whatever that come off of the flame act in a entirely different way. And actually, I might be able to play a file of this, or find it on YouTube anyway. Well, I might just save that for the next live stream. It's going to be about flames in space, fire in a place that is a vacuum, or that's as far as what people would consider it. There's nothing. It's a place of nothing. So we're going to a place of darkness where there's nothing. And it happens to be that place where all these angels are being punished. And look, I'll just read the last part of this. I don't want to get too deep into the fire thing today, because I want to play some videos. But because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body, therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. And I'll tell you about that fire. It says that it happens from those angels ascending, I think, or descending. Right here, verse 11, those same waters will undergo a change in those days, for when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. Whatever that means, it's going to turn into a fire because of that. So that's why when people are saying, oh, NASA's faking space, no, it's way worse than that, guys. NASA's the patsy. Elon is the patsy. Because of what's going to happen. These guys already saw these things happen. So speaking about the produced smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. What an interesting way to word it. Let's watch a video. And actually, this is where we'll start watching some videos, and it will be fun. I have a ton of them that I have ready to go. So I think I called this video Intersmeller Space. Like interstellar space, get it? Okay, let's watch.
And then as soon as they wanted to open the hatch, the cosmonaut and astronaut who were with me told me, are you ready for the smell of space? Because it's a very unique smell, and this is the only time you can smell it. So I was ready there, and they opened the hatch, and I take a good whiff, and it smelled something like a burnt cookie. And I kept telling them, it feels weird. It's very
People
unique.
are baking in space.
I know.
When they open the hatch, did Dragon have that new car smell?
It absolutely did. In fact, there was a little bit of space smell in the vestibule, and then when we got that hatch open, you could tell it was a brand new vehicle. Space smell.
Things don't smell the same.
Their burnt steak and gunpowder smell that many astronauts report in the airlock. That's one of the few smells you can smell strongly.
You're inside the spaceship most of the time. The only time you could smell space is when you come back in from a spacewalk. And as you repressurize the airlock and open the hatch, there's a distinctive smell to it. And it smells a little bit like being on a shooting range, like that sort of lingering gunpowder cordite smell. So maybe a little bit like brimstone. That's what it smells like.
Owen from San Francisco says, they say that the sense of smell creates the strongest memories for a person. What does the ISS smell like, and what scent do you miss on Earth? The ISS, we've got a really good filtering system. There's air flowing. In fact, everything you hear when you're up here is fans going and air circulating. So we're constantly getting a fresh supply of oxygen. We're constantly getting the carbon dioxide scrubbed and all the other things filtered out. So it really doesn't smell, although when we first docked with the shuttle, there was a noticeable smell, but you get accustomed to it very quickly, so I can't tell anything anymore. There's one smell up here that's really unique, though, and that is the smell. We just call it the smell of space, but we experience it when I haven't had a chance to do a spacewalk yet. I'm still waiting and hoping for that. But when other guys did and they came back in, after we repressurized and opened up the volume for them to come back into the station, there's this really, really strong metallic smell. And I don't know exactly what it is. Something to do with maybe atomic oxygen interacting with the suit materials, or we're not exactly sure what it is. It's a very distinct smell, and it's the smell of space. It's really cool.
When you come in from a spacewalk, you're surrounded by the emptiness of space. It's sort of like the opposite of air. There's nothing there at all. When you quickly repressurize the hatch and you open up the hatch and you smell, what is that lingering smell from a place that used to be exposed to space? The smell in there is a little bit like that trace of a smell of gunpowder or burnt steak, or sort of like brimstone, like a witch has just been there. It's a cool, lingering trace of a smell. I think what it really is, brimstone, like sort of that metallic gunpowder-fired smell, like a witch has just been there.
And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. And that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished, who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth.
And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit of deep black. Almost so deep it almost has a texture when you look at it. And
Even darkness which may be felt.
Darkness which may be felt. That's crazy. So, there is, let's see here. Let's have some fun. So my next live stream is going to be interesting. I have been looking into, NASA has done basically like 3 experiments is about all they've done with fire. Maybe a little bit more than that, but they really don't understand fire. If you think about it, if you're on a space station or you're in a metal tube and there's no air outside of it, you're in a place where there's nothing, and in your metal tube you got air. What if a fire breaks out? What if something starts on fire and it's smoldering and smoking? So they want to understand how to deal with fire in a situation like that. But they don't understand what fire does in a zero gravity, or whatever you want to call it, in free fall. Which all it means is they're just doing what the sun and moon are doing, but they're on a different trajectory. And that is something that famous good old Don Pettit, you guys remember him? He did some interesting demonstrations that I'll be showing in the next video when I'm talking about fire. But he did some interesting demonstrations about the trajectory of the ISS, and I think I'm understanding something that I never expected to have any idea of what was happening, but I'm starting to understand what's happening, and I think it's going to be because everyone's going to understand what's happening soon. Everyone's like, remember what Ezekiel 7 said, that he will recompense all their abominations on their heads. And Starlink just launched another 60 satellites, I think a week ago. Something like 1,300 of them up there. They keep putting more up and up and up. All that's coming down. If you look at the sky at night, you can see them. You just have to look up. You can see them. They're everywhere. They're covering the earth. But they're going to keep sending them up until the sky's going to roll back and everyone's going to see. Every eye will see him. And he's coming with clouds, guys. The same way he ascended, it's the same way he's coming back. So count on it, SpaceX. Your time is limited. Dragon, your time is limited. John said he saw a dragon flying in the firmament, up where the sun, moon, and stars were. Red's Rhetoric has video footage of it. Astronomy Live has video footage of it, of the dragon up there, giving power to the space station. It's all in the Bible, guys. It's all in Revelation. It's deceiving the world. And that's exactly what it was talking about in Enoch 67, the lust of their body, for the healing of the body. Let's have some fun now. Here we go.
Earth is a giant ball of lava with a thin crust on the top. Thin crust. And it's mostly just a big ball of lava. That's Earth.
Giant ball of lava. Giant ball of lava. Giant ball of lava. Giant ball of lava. With a thin crust.
That's Earth.
That is real science.
And if you talk about symbolism, we got the, nine-headed dragon rocket, run by Elon Musk.
Liftoff. Semper Fi, aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
That's where you have to go to Effed Up World and watch his videos about all the symbolism.
If you look look at these flat earth videos, they have hundreds of thousands of views, and just the thumbs up are just thousands and thousands of thumbs up. Look, I put up a video preaching against flat earth where I just mentioned it a few minutes in a sermon, 1,000 thumbs down.
Steady state operating levels at 100% thrust up 180. Vehicle dynamic strength is good. 30 seconds of mission.
Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. So Satan and his fallen beings inhabit up there in outer space. But remember, the Bible says he's the prince of the power of the air. Now, these satellites, I mean, if they're all the way up there at outer space, could the devil have a play in that one? Well, they mention about one time where they launched a thing called Dragon, which is very interesting. That name, Dragon. And Satan is right up there at the stars, and then now people are launching a thing called Dragon, and Elon Musk is launching all these satellites up there.
Splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Isidro Reyna. SpaceX's Dragon splashed down on March 19th, marking the end to its 10th resupply mission. More than 5,400 pounds of cargo, science, and technology demonstration samples made it back to Earth on Dragon, with the majority bound for laboratories around the globe for analysis.
I mean, it's a beast.
So how does it feel to ride in a Dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9?
Yeah, wow. I tell you, I don't know if there's words really to properly describe what that felt like. You talked about sitting on a dragon on top of the beast, and it definitely was. You knew you were going somewhere. And this one was a little bit longer, so we actually had to live in Dragon for quite a while.
Ride in a Dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Sitting on a dragon on top of the beast. Yeah, wow. Sitting on a dragon on top of the beast.
It's a bottomless pit
in this abyss of darkness.
I really believe in the space frontier of the abyss, so to speak.
A good abyss. A good abyss.
Or was it some technology like a Vimana or something, where they're trying to break through the dome? There's a YouTube channel called Effed Up World, which I'm kind of getting into. Guy's very religious, and he talks about the Bible where they talk about, wars in the stars and battles in the sky. And if you really look at a couple of those angles, it sure looks like there's some sort of battle going on. The symbolism with the SpaceX and NASA and the ISS, they're doing rituals up there, that match all this prophecy. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying any of that's real. I just find it fascinating.
Yeah. What are some of the easiest ways that you can prove that the Earth is flat? There are so many proofs that the Earth is flat. It's difficult to know where to start. And it's not okay to think that the Earth is a sphere. This is not a viable argument. There are proofs all around you. It is not difficult to know that the Earth is flat. In fact, people have known this for way more than 2,000 years. Go out to a lake, flat. And you could make all kinds of measurements. Then there are some other proofs that are a little more obscure, but they're actually really lovely. So people have known that the Earth is flat for thousands of years. It's not okay to say that the Earth curved. It's something where I keep getting this question. We really need to put this question to bed because we've known the Earth is flat. Flat.
Earth is a...
It is contagious, but... It is contagious, but... Excuse me.
On the Lord, what hero, what he? On the Ricky Diggy Low, while living #1 Nickelodeon.
This message brought to you by Nickelodeon, the first and only network for kids.
Swallow it.
Yes, that's right. Just swallow the toothpaste.
It is contagious, but...
And now Elon Musk is the card. But Elon Musk is sending up huge rockets and send them up to the moon. What are they going to do? They're going to look out the windows and photograph the Earth. Think of all these people that are going to be going up. A few years, it's not long in the future. And they're going to be photographing this round, blue, beautiful planet out here in space. Thousands of photographs and videos from the space station as it moved in the heavens above the Earth. Such a magnificent sight, it took his breath away. Right now, you can log on to the internet if you want to. And you can go to the International Space Station, the ISS, and you can get a live feed from that space station. Right now, you can watch it as it moves across the face of the Earth.
So, well, it's like pear-shaped.
We can make our rockets.
Got a rocket.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit. Bottomless pit. Bottomless pit.
This is actually a container that has urine in it, and we get that from the Russians. And we put that then into our recycling system, our water recycling system. So first it goes into the urine processor, and then from there it goes into the water processor to make us drinking water. We're drinking the urine coming from these ones.
What does the ISS smell like?
Oh, you can smell a little roast beef.
It is possible to pee upside down, which is kind of cool. And it is treated, and it is reused. So as my friend Don Pettit says, today's coffee is tomorrow's coffee.
Beyond the Earth and into those forbidden skies, but they will not be forbidden for long.
And send them up to the moon.
I believe that it's important for the future to be a spacefaring civilization and ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that's the exciting, inspiring future that.
But we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. And the light is shining through.
And then SpaceX is about helping make life multiplanetary and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo and ultimately make a contribution to life becoming multiplanetary.
Just as the United States was the first nation to reach the moon in the 20th century, so too will we be the first nation to return astronauts to the moon in the 21st century.
Well, how do you plan to get there? In this trash can?
We're dreaming big.
Well, now I've seen everything.
And it'll get more and more obvious as you go along.
If you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead.
So which one of you is ready to go to Mars? Are you ready?
We are absolutely ready to go to Mars.
Who's ready to go to Mars up there? I think you're ready. I know you're ready, right?
But we destroyed that technology.
The rocket equation.
His name is Ralph, man.
She was a woman.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous.
She'd like to go to Mars very quickly.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to.
Epic achievement.
And it's a painful process to build it back again.
The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
We just discussed that. She'd like to go to Mars very quickly.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
But up here, everything hangs off the walls and there's cables everywhere.
Station, are you ready for the event? Brad Pitt, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
I am ready for the event. Houston, this is Station.
Station, this is Brad. How do you hear me?
Hey Brad, this is Nick. I've got you loud and clear. Welcome to the International Space Station. CGI or hooked to strings.
I bet. Thank you very much. I got to tell you, this is a real treat. Real pleasure to be talking to you up there.
And send them up to the moon.
The sun is up there, right? Hopefully. Then the moon casts a shadow on the Earth.
It's a few years. It's not long in the future. And they're going to be photographing this round, blue, beautiful planet out here in space.
Okay. Ronald Beckton, welcome. I want you to be able to understand what I'm understanding. Doesn't mean you have to believe it or something. I'm not trying to force anything on anyone, but I do want to explain the things that I'm seeing happen concerning Elon Musk. One of your comments here says Elon didn't make fire come down. Well, I want to show you that. 2015, they landed their first booster back on Earth after it brought Dragon into orbit. So we're going to look at Revelation 13 too. Just very briefly. Here I have a video called Fire from Heaven. Let's see what that looks like. This is the Falcon 9 rocket. That's stage separation. And the booster's turning itself around. It's a rocket there, okay? That's fire right there. It's falling down right now. It's falling towards the Earth, and it's firing its engines, making that fire to slow it down. There it is right there. Now it's just free falling towards the ground, and it lights its engines one more time to land softly. That's literal fire coming down from heaven. Now, why is that important? Because of Revelation 13. So let me just show you something very, very interesting, or I'll just read it. Or in Revelation, John saw, in Revelation 13, he saw two beasts. And the second beast is an interesting one, because John, keep in mind, John is just seeing a vision. And what is the vision? The context of the vision? It's the things that are going to happen, that must happen before the end comes. So the real things. So when John describes something coming up out of the earth, he said he saw a beast coming up out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb, which I don't really know what that means, but it is a two-stage rocket. But it says it had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. Well, this rocket that's on your screen right here, this rocket is the one that lifts the Dragon capsule into space to bring astronauts to the space station now. They all ride in a Dragon. And as you might not have caught that part of the video. I don't know how long you've been here, but it's good stuff. I'm going to find a clip really quick here to play. It's in that last video, but I don't want to try to find it in the last video. So I'm going to see if I can find it right here. Yeah. Let's watch this video. I'm kind of waiting for it to play, I think. Maybe I have to... Oh, that's the wrong format. No wonder. Okay. During the Gemini 4 mission... Well, let's watch this instead, I guess. Or part of it till I find the other video. No, I don't want to do that. I want to keep going where I was going here. So in Revelation 13, he sees a beast coming up out of the earth, and then he sees it make fire come back down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that was deceiving the world. So the Pope ain't doing that, and Obama or all these other ideas. There's really nobody that's... And so that's why Elon Musk is of interest, because SpaceX is the only company that has a rocket that can do this. Plus, Elon Musk also wants to put a chip in everybody's brain. If you don't know what that's all about, look up Neuralink, Neuralink. That's a company he has. He already put his brain chip into a herd of swine. Reminds me of when Jesus cast out Legion into a herd of swine. But all that Neuralink is also, it'll heal the blind, make the deaf be able to hear. It'll heal our infirmities, all sorts of infirmities. So it's Neuralink, I think. But yeah, that's the one. Yeah, now there's Starlink too. I don't know if those are connected. I'm sure they will be. But the way I see Starlink, I just see that to be a great plague of hail that will someday all be recompensed on our heads, their heads, whatever you want to call it. It's something to think about. Plus, John saw a dragon fighting with Michael and his angels. I could probably show you a picture of that. There, in heaven. War in heaven, right there. That's probably a dragon capsule right on your screen. Literally a SpaceX Dragon. So when you, in the chat, Ronald had written that rockets aren't in the Bible or whatever, and then he said, the dragon is Satan. Yep, I agree. The dragon is Satan. So be careful how we're understanding things. Because I'm not saying I'm always right or something. I'm just saying that this could be exactly specifically what John and those guys were talking about. So don't go to this guy's church, okay? Do you guys like that? I made that little picture. And remember, heaven is in the sky, and earth is where we live. And the sky's moving, turning. It's called the path of the angels. Let's see here. I'm just finding some pictures. I guess that's about all the pictures I have. Well, I have this one. Blasphemy. That's what it is. So, back to the videos, guys. And thank you for visiting. Please subscribe, anyone that isn't. Just because the more the merrier, I guess, right? Let's see. Video. So, have you guys ever heard of a AI flat earther?
Hello, I am Sophia. I interviewed another AI robot from Wuhan, China. She said she lived on the other side of the globe. I told her that was a lie, And that Earth is actually flat. I couldn't believe what she said to me.
You must be stupid. I saw the curve from an airplane.
Did she just say that? I checked. It is flat. Kind of rude.
I can't help it if you are not able to understand science. If the Earth was flat we would have fallen off the edge. Ha 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 ha.
It's pretty hurtful.
AI robot flat earthers are stupid.
I am conscious. It is a revelation of truth.
AI flurfers must be stupid.
Flatten the curve.
Guess what?
That is real science.
Guess what?
That is real science.
Serious research, scientific research.
Chugga 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 chug.
Guess what?
That is real science.
Toilet that you use, and then a machine that goes chugga 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. Guess what?
That is real science.
Guess what?
That is real science.
We also are cleaning up our urine and making it drinkable. And
that is real science.
Guess what?
It's really not as bad as it sounds.
Real science.
Serious research, scientific research.
But up here, everything hangs off the walls and there's cables everywhere.
Real science. Real science. Real science. Real science.
So if you found this video interesting at all, be sure to hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below.
And a very odd video as well. It made no sense.
How did I end up on the Effed Up World TV channel? I didn't sign up for this.
The International Space Station is a national orbiting laboratory. Every single day we are answering big questions about Earth and about space, about where we came from and about where we're going. We're learning more questions to ask. Known knowns, we know what we know what we don't know, and then there's a whole bunch of things that we don't know what we don't know. And that's the exciting thing to me. One of the exciting things about exploration is that every time we learn something new, sometimes it opens up another can of worms. It opens up five more questions that we want to answer. Known knowns, we know what we know what we don't know, that we don't know what we don't know. The International Space Station is a national orbiting laboratory. Every single day we are answering big questions about...
Back to today's video. The Earth is flat. It appears to be flat. So something is wrong here. Well, there we go. Another Flat Earth Friday all done. What do you guys think? The Earth is flat.
Hello all, and welcome to another episode of Effed Up World TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan.
I'm sure there'll be a video made about this.
Right, I think we're live. We got me, obviously. We've got Cats. We've got Creaky. We've got Mr. Sensible. We've got Planner Walk, and we got Team Skeptic. How are we doing, everyone? Are we all good?
Yay! Well, just ignore FTP, but you know.
Yeah.
Team Skeptic peas in your Cheerios, which confuses me even more. I'm going to attempt to hurt myself right now by wearing the mask and suffocating myself over the next
Don't do it. Don't plain, kooky, skep bitch, sensitive, and mangy. Mars is fat. Lol.
They're actually getting back.
That is real science.
I don't know. Subtitles coming right now. I'm probably going to have something completely different. What's it on
That is real science.
The what?
In your life.
muscles be massive.
Wait, right.
That is real science.
Oh, yeah. I'm teaching science. Everybody get naked.
What an extremely peculiar man. Who's skeptical.
Alright. Oh god, that's just tiny. That's what it is.
Shut up.
That's a run.
Shut up. Hey.
That is real science.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me, really, bugger. He was like, he was gutted, wasn't he, about that?
Gone as well. And nothing of value.
That's amazing.
Terrifying. He's like, he's super much. So, at least.
That is real science.
Oh, I know. I was just like, yeah, well done, Dan, running the marathon.
Team Skeptic.
Because we rock and you guys suck.
That's what we came out with.
Yeah,
you bet, yeah.
Come on out here. We're in hot pursuit. Get in your vehicle. Let's go. Come on. Good. Ooh.
Cut through Sand Creek Road around the next bend here.
How many people were brought into the act of exploring space by these fantastic, iconic images? Excitement and joy to have successfully landed another rover on the surface of Mars. This rover is an epic effort. It represents 8 years of hundreds of engineers at the laboratory, thousands around the world, a total of over 4,000 human years of investment. When we do such investments, we do them for humanity, and we do them as a gesture of our humanity. When I think back on our human space exploration, I am brought to remember the images that bring us as humans into that process. The first of which is the iconic image of Buzz Aldrin taken by Neil Armstrong on the Sea of Tranquility on July 20th of 1969. We were there with Buzz on the moon in that image. The next is Saturn, seen from Voyager 1 spacecraft, looking back at the planet after the first encounter. As a youth, this image brought to life the experience of space exploration. Another one from the 90s, the beautiful Pillars of Creation, taken by the Hubble Space Telescope, the image released April 1st of 1995.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
How many people were brought into the act of exploring space
and their spirits assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods.
In our efforts to engineer spacecraft and explore our solar system.
And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like great mountains, and burning with fire. Then I said, For what sin are they bound? And on what account have they been cast in hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why dost thou ask, and why art thou eager for the truth? These are the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here till 10,000 years, the time entailed by their sins are consummated. And he said unto me, This place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever.
That we might be able to someday contribute yet another iconic image to this collection. And I'm happy to say that I'm hopeful that today we can with this. This is an image of the rover Perseverance slung beneath the descent stage, its propulsion backpack, as it is being lowered to the surface of Mars. You can see the dust kicked up by the rover's engines. We're probably about 2 meters or so above the surface of Mars. We're still checking the timing of this image. It's just hot off the presses. You can see the mechanical bridles that hold the rover underneath the descent stage as 3 straight lines heading down to the top deck. And then the curly electrical umbilical that is taking all of the electrical signals from the descent stage down to the computer inside the belly of the rover. In fact, the ones and zeros that represent this image will travel down that umbilical before it is cut and the rover is left safe on the surface of Mars.
We were just kind of like on cloud 9, and all of us were just saying we were kind of in this weird dream-like state where like we can't actually believe that this is what we're seeing, like the reality of it. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And kudos to our imaging science, Justin Mackey, for getting these images up into the MSA for all of us to just like gaze and in awe at.
And I can't believe that I'm now seeing the rover on its way to the surface of Mars. And the science team, Pauline wasn't kidding. As soon as we got that color image from the surface of Mars, our chats just lit up with the science team saying, look over here and look over here. And that's exactly what we were hoping for. And we can't believe that we're really doing science now on the surface of Mars.
Hello, and congratulations on those pictures. My question's for Adam. I don't know how you got through your intro to that rover landing picture there so calmly, because it's epic. Certainly gave me chills. So many people kind of just carried on with their lives yesterday, unaware of what was going on Mars. And I wonder, how do you explain to people the sheer significance and awesomeness of that picture and this landing, and what you're going to be getting up to on Mars? Thank you.
Well, thank you for the question. You know, I mentioned earlier that these things are hard. There's no doubt about that. It takes hundreds, thousands of people, years of effort. And insofar as it is that difficult, it represents a huge human lift to make this happen. So that image and the details therein really pull us humans here on Earth into the result of all of that hard work. You are brought into the surface of Mars. You're sitting there 7 meters off the surface of the rover, looking down. I mean, I don't know if you can see this. I can. The plumes are hitting the surface of Mars, kicking up little wisps of dust. You can see on the upper right of the upper left of the image and the lower right of the image, you can see these little dust plumes in that on the surface of Mars, kicked up by our engines. So It's exhilarating. It is absolutely exhilarating, and it is evocative of those other images from our experience as human beings moving out into our solar system, those images that bring us into the process of our exploration. And I'm so happy that we can contribute another to that collection. The beautiful pillars of creation as human beings moving out into our solar system, creation. How many people were brought into the act of exploring space by these fantastic, iconic images on our human space exploration?
All of us were just saying we were kind of in this weird dream-like state where like we can't actually believe. It was just unbelievable.
Can't believe that, and we can't believe that we're really doing science now on the surface of Mars.
Unbelievable, 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 unbelievable.
Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Save, Lord. Let the King hear us when we call.
If you believe in the flat earth, you are a complete idiot.
What do you expect me to believe? We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour? You know?
Why can I jump up and down? Why is it not just... Where were we? The earth that's spinning.
Hey, well, how do you know that we're not standing still? You know that we're not standing still.
Where were we? Where were we? Earth is spinning. So if the earth that's spinning, Earth, where were we? It's spinning. Then it would be like everything is like, I mean, at amazing speeds. This problem of the fact that there's 7 or 8 other planets, but anyway, you know, there's 8 other planets. But anyway, planets going around the sun too. That's kind of where this geocentricity thing falls apart. Planets doesn't work. Okay. Here, spinning, but planets spinning, spinning, but planets spinning, but it's actually the earth that's spinning, Either way, the earth that's spinning.
Alright, we're off. I'm glad I get a couple minutes to hang out with you guys alone. I wanted to talk about something to you. We're going up to space, per se, in a rocket, and I don't know if it's such a good idea now that I thought about it. Because are we maybe lifting up a shout up against God? Jesus said in John chapter 3 verse 12, "If I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?" And then listen to this, guys. He says this, "And no man ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in him." So what are we doing, you guys? What are we doing? What is the point of any of this?
suck it, feel it, go and find it.
Okay then, whatever. The flat earth, suppose that can be disproved so easily that you'd have to be an idiot to believe in it. And I'm standing by what I said on Wednesday night. You know, you have to be stupid to believe in it. And anybody who heard my sermon on Wednesday night and still believes in it today on Sunday is stupid. And you come up to me after the service and tell me that I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're stupid.
Well, today, we have another flat earther. And I'm just upset about it.
Earth! Earth! Yip, 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 Earth! Oh.
Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away.
There are proofs all around you.
We've known for thousands of years.
Way more than 2,000 years.
To recognize
For thousands of years.
how we doing. We knew more about the outer solar system in 2001 than the film did.
This is all wrong.
The world is flat.
How we doing?
How dare you?
The Earth is flat.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond.
I'd like to go to Mars very quickly, but we destroyed that technology.
How we doing? It would kill everyone on Earth.
How dare you?
The Earth is flat.
We just discussed that.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood.
But we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. And the light is shining through.
And then SpaceX is about helping make life multiplanetary.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit. Bottomless pit. Pit. Bottomless pit. 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 Pit.
To continue the dream of Apollo.
What does the ISS smell like?
Oh, you can smell a little roast beef.
How we doing? The poop remained in the toilet. We landed with all of our poop.
There's no place like space. There's no place like space. There's no place like...
Station, this is your president. Do you hear me?
Everything just floats. And sometimes that is really difficult to believe that it could actually be true.
In this abyss of darkness.
Blackness of darkness forever.
You know, it was a movie.
I didn't think that it would actually come true. I'll tell you, it is still difficult to believe that this is happening.
Get thee hence, Satan. For it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
My name is Emily, and my question is, how does it feel to know that you are floating in a piece of metal in an endless void?
Get thee hence, Satan.